You're watching Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
Nah, 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 nah.
Let's get into it with the lead.
I've created a monster.
So good. Great stuff, Liam. Welcome into Oilers Nation Everyday, live from the Sports Closet studio. Check them out online at sportscloset.ca. The title of our show says it. The lead says it. Donald Trump's back. Oh, wait, no. Connor McDavid's back. It's a great distraction. It comes at a perfect time, but you heard it right. Connor McDavid, just 9 days after injuring his ankle against the Columbus Blue Jackets, is back in the lineup. It is exciting. The Oilers have a couple of big divisional games on tap, and it's got me walking around with a little bit of pep in my step, Leon. I'm feeling good.
You should feel good.
Connor McDavid's going to play hockey again tonight.
Quite a surprise this morning. I was obviously Tony and Bob tweeted out the lines and various other sources, and then Connor McDavid, there it was. First line next to Stuart Skinner and Hyman.
You're correct.
Crazy. I actually
It's
cannot
wild.
believe it, but it somewhat starts to make sense a little bit more now. Could Julie get sent down?
A week ago, we were sitting here being like, do you think he could push it and be back for that game against Toronto? Ooh.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Do you know what that means? It means we need to set a like goal for today.
I think we do. We need to get to 97 likes.
97 likes.
Hammer the like button.
And also, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, give us a subscription.
Yeah, we've been stuck on 25K for too long. Way too long.
Yeah, so
Remember last year we started the year at what, 20?
yeah, we grew quite a lot last year. So
Yeah, we did grow to 5K.
I think,
I really want us to get to 30.
it's become expected from us that people will just do it without us asking, I think. So
Yeah.
I'm pleading with you folks. Give us
Jay,
a-
your thoughts?
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, Jay. He texted us. It's not the reason we were late. So if you can tell, and I don't know again, we got a new camera
Whoa. What?
right there. There's actually two cameras in the
actually two.
studio. So we got a new camera and we were like, hey, we should use it today.
Yeah.
And then the zoom function doesn't work on it, which is weird because it's a new camera.
Awesome camera.
Anyways, so we were like, oh, let's just use both cameras. We can use one that's zoomed in for when it's just Liam and I. Then when Jay comes, we'll switch to the other camera. New wide lens looks great. And then the computer crashed because it couldn't handle two cameras.
Went totally black.
Which is also like
2 minutes before.
Yeah, so that was awesome.
Southpaw says multicam production now. Well, we do like bringing you guys behind the scenes, and we are getting our new studio. We're making progress.
Yeah, our new technical producer Nick was in town yesterday
From Toronto.
from the 6.
Yeah.
And he was working on some things.
He was working on some things. So we're close. We got the ball to the red zone. Nick has got it now within the 5. We just got to find a way to punch it over the goal line. But the plan is that we'll have like a new multi-camera kind of shoot. We got some really cool stuff planned. We got some new tech. We were able to buy a bunch of stuff. I'm buying new chairs, which is very exciting for you.
Thank goodness.
And we're going to have our own space. So cool. Yeah, as Chris says, the camera has a vanishing function. Look, no Jay. He's here.
He is here. Look,
He's somewhere
his
here.
mic's there.
Anyways, welcome into the show. Yes, please subscribe, hit 97 likes, and yeah, giddy up. It's a game day for the Oilers. It's a Sherwood Ford Giant game day, which is always exciting. And a big shout out to our friends over at Sherwood Ford the Giant, because today is the big food drive, Liam, as we've been talking about for a couple of weeks now. They're partnering up with Lakeland Elementary School.
Go Wolves.
Go Wolves. Liam's a proud alumni of the school, and they have been collecting donations for the Strathcona Community Food Bank. Today's the big day. Oh, that's perfectly timed. And they're going to be at the school unloading some of the donations. So exciting stuff. Hockey fans helping hockey fans, and they're also big supporters of the community. There we go. Jay's back. Look how HD we look with the new camera.
Whoa. Jeez, it's just it looks like it's yelling at me, this camera. It's got a new lens or something?
Yeah, we put a real big lens on it.
Woo.
but we can't figure out how the Zoom function works.
Okay.
So that's fun.
Baby steps.
Baby steps. We're getting there.
I like what Southpaw said. Special guest today, John Cena.
That's a good one. Jay, you're back on the show. Connor McDavid is back in the lineup.
How about that? Leave it to Connor McDavid to come back in like 7 days on a 2 to 3 week prognosis.
9 days.
Whatever.
Was it 9 days?
Yeah, the 28th. So
we got Monday. That's right.
Yeah, it was a Monday.
Spooky.
It was Monday. He was hurt, so the counter starts the day after.
So it's 8 days.
8 days.
Okay, sure.
Saw
But
it off.
he's back, and we had a comment earlier on here that I wanted to get to, and it was from our pal Jay Walkling, who says there was no reason to rush his return, and I think that's I do understand where you're coming from, right? But
take that up with Connor. Connor wants to play.
Exactly.
It's
so
his call.
Connor McDavid would not be putting himself in a position to potentially re-injure himself to return for a game in the middle or early November against the Vegas Golden Knights, which I know it's a big divisional game and you got Vancouver just around the corner. But the other side of it, and where I would maybe give some thought to the idea that, they're rushing him back. If they went 0 for 3 without him in the lineup, I could see Connor McDavid being like, I am playing no matter what. We are righting this ship. I do think there was a bit of that last year with the Heritage Classic. I think he did. Remember, he played, then he missed a couple of games after the Heritage Classic, right? I would buy it a bit if the Oilers were in some sort of a slump and it was like, okay, how are they going to turn this around? Oh, look, Connor McDavid's playing way earlier than we thought. But they went 2-1 without him. The idea that they can't win without Connor McDavid, that's been squashed. The water's been thrown on that fire. There was no need, you could say, for Connor McDavid to return earlier than expected. The only reason for him to return is if he's actually 100% healthy, which, again, if you saw the videos of him ripping around on the ice at Rogers Place,
He's fine.
He's back.
He was skating like the next day. Like all the signals were telling you he's going to be back earlier.
Yeah.
We'll never know what the injury was, but
the Oilers aren't stupid. They know how important Connor McDavid obviously is to their team.
Yes.
They're not just going to be like, damn, we really need this win against Vegas tonight.
I don't think it's rush.
Yeah, I don't think they would do that.
No, like I said, I'm not putting a lot of stock
unless
into
you
that.
want to doubt Connor McDavid, which no one ever should.
No, do not doubt Connor McDavid. And with Connor McDavid's return comes some interesting new line combinations for the Edmonton Oilers. It is a short for Giant Game Day, which means we have to do a lineup report brought to you by Square. If you run a restaurant, you're too busy for this ad. You're thinking about how to get more orders flowing, new locations open. You need to find customers and keep them coming back. So really, you're already thinking about how Square can help you. They've already helped more than 400,000 restaurants do all those things and more. So if you're thinking about your restaurant, think bigger and think Square. Go to square.ca, see why Square is big in the restaurant game. The lineup for Edmonton tonight has Connor McDavid down the middle on the top line, but it's not Nugent Hyman on his wing. It's Jeff Skinner and Zach Hyman on his wing. What do we make of the new look top line trio for Chris Knobloch?
I like it. I think the last time that line really played together was that Calgary game, right? If I remember him back when they played them, and Jeff Skinner obviously scored. I do think that Skinner, Nugent Hyman line had a pretty bad game the other day too. So I think it was important to break them up and give McDavid the shooter there and Skinner. And quite frankly, Nugent Hopkins hasn't had the offensive presence that we needed to have. So he probably deserves to be lower down the lineup.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. So far this season, we have seen McDavid, Hyman, and Skinner together, granted only for about 11 5-on-5 minutes. In that time, they've outshot the other team 10-7, but they've been outscored 2-1. So again, really, really short sample size here. The sample size of McDavid and Hyman, just those two, I mean, that's great. Shot attempts when they've been on the ice together in 116 minutes, it's 167-98. That is very, very good. They're basically doubling up the shot attempts for the team they're facing. So I like this top line. No one's been shooting the puck more than Jeff Skinner on this Oilers roster this year. And again, I think him playing with Zach Hyman, I think it brings out the best in Jeff Skinner. Yeah, he's shown he's got a good nose for the net. He's played hungry, and we know what he can do when the puck's on a stick.
He's a playmaker. He's a shooter. Yeah. We know 97 is an amazing distributor. Why not?
Yep. Totally. Second line, put Colson, Draisaitl, Arvidsson. You had nothing else to add there, right?
Well, why not do it? I think that's even sometimes you gotta let silence hit.
That's probably what Chris Knobloch even said. He was probably like, why not?
Another thing too, they probably saw Skinner and Hyman playing together. I'm like, that's such a pretty good wing duo.
Yep.
Just put McDavid in there.
Yeah,
Why not?
I really like it. Second line, why not? They've been hot, so keep them together.
Yeah.
Draisaitl, Arvidsson, Podkolzin, let them develop that chemistry.
Let him fly. Paul Colson's got to get one. Right,
I
Jay?
know.
Let me guess what your game day bet is.
Well, this is where I've jinxed it. I didn't do it, so he is going to score tonight.
He should have scored last game.
Oh my god! Right?
I mean,
Wide open net.
it was harder to miss.
Oh man.
To be honest.
That's a good way to put it. It was harder to miss.
Yeah, you got to want it. Why not?
Yep. So that's going to be the second line. Third line for the Oilers, Nuge, Henrique, and Connor Brown. So Nuge and Henrique did spend a little bit of time together last season, 53 minutes and 22 seconds, total 5-on-5 time on ice since Henrique came over last year. That includes a little bit of time together this year. The numbers aren't great. They largely got dominated possession-wise, but
Matchup-wise, it should be interesting for them.
it should be good. They only start 25% of their shifts together in the offensive zone, so they've been given some really tough assignments. And like I remember when they had the Skinner, Henrique, Brown line, and we talked to Bruce, and Bruce was like, "Hey, that line's actually sneaky good offensively, and now they're going to get some really soft matchups." I actually think putting Nuge there instead of Skinner, and I think it'll be interesting to see who actually ends up playing more center or taking more draws.
Well, that's my debate. Like, should Nuge be the center of that line?
Yeah, that's probably a fair question to ask, but I think when you put Nuge there instead of Skinner, again, I like Brown, I like Henrique, it now maybe becomes a bit more of like, okay, just trust him in some tough minutes here. Put him out there in the D zone, see if Henrique can win you some draws. They should play relatively mistake-free hockey. So those three lined up, I like it, and I think, again, home ice, last change, you can use them in tougher spots, and then that could free up the top six to produce more offense. The fourth line, as Mulek comments in the chat, nervous about that fourth line. Yeah, I am too. They sent down Noah Philp today, which I don't like. I think Noah Philp did enough to stay there. I think at 26 years old, relatively inexperienced, they could have given him more leash.
Do you think, and we discussed this yesterday or the other day.
Well, what's the alternative?
Play Philp, put Derek Ryan on waivers.
Well, then that's why they didn't do it.
Or just keep both.
Keep
No, they
both.
got to accrue cap space,
They're accruing a
They could still do
little.
it.
but accrue more. Maximum cap space.
And I
This
do
is-
agree with that.
So if that's the case, I wonder if that's why they did this, because Calgary, the Condors just playing Calgary. So just call him back up. A couple of days
So-
go by. They're in Vancouver on Friday.
Yeah, so they played in Calgary last night. They play again tonight. Then they're in Abbotsford for back-to-backs this weekend. So,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if Derek Ryan doesn't play great against Vegas and Vancouver, they say, okay, now we're making the swap. And maybe they're still going with the mindset of, well, Derek Ryan really hasn't done a lot to lose the job. So he's the vet. Why put him on waivers? But you want to talk about maximum accrual, Jay? You would be accruing an extra $200,000 if you make that swap.
Talking about maximum accrual, what would Yaremchuk look like in his Bakersfield Condors jersey?
What are you? Why?
Because he doesn't
'Cause
do
what has he
anything.
done?
God, you guys.
You're playing him on your fourth line.
He's
Let it go.
statistically one of their
Jula
worst penalty killers.
But he was also statistically one of our best penalty killers. Like, right? Our penalty kill just sucks this year.
and he's on it.
And he's on it.
So's Derek Ryan.
Okay.
I just think you could get more.
When are
out
we
of
starting the?
Jula.
How far has Connor Brown traveled without scoring a goal?
We're
Connor
not there
Brown?
yet.
Why are
has a
we?
goal.
Well, fuck. What are we doing
Has
right
he
now?
scored this year?
He has
Yeah.
a goal.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
Okay.
Connor Brown has one.
When did he score?
Jeff Skinner.
I'm not doubting
It
it.
was against
Darnell blue line
um,
to Jeff Skinner over to Connor
Philly.
Brown.
Oh, he was right in front of me.
Why don't we start in the pod calls in one?
Oh no! Why are you dumping on Puck Golden?
Dude, dump it on Connor Brown. He has a goal.
No, I'm saying you guys are just turning negative against the team, is what I'm saying. It's like,
I'm
what
not
are we
saying
doing
whoa,
on?
whoa.
False.
Negative and critical are two very different things, Jay.
Matthias Janmark was a soldier in the playoffs, and right now
Agreed.
you want to write him off.
Yes.
That's what I'm calling out right now.
I'm not
So that's what
writing
I'm saying.
him.
Why don't we just start writing off everyone else who's
I
not
just think
underperforming?
Kajula and Philp are better options than Yaremchuk and Ryan. How are they not?
I'll push back a little bit on Kajula over
I will,
Janmark.
I will hear out the Ryan argument a little bit, but like, come
Okay,
on.
Kajula played. He didn't play against. Who did he play the other day? Whoever he played on Monday, he didn't play. The New Jersey against Calgary and Nashville. I can think of at least 3 moments from Kajula I can think of one moment from Yaremchuk, and it's when he scored an empty net. That is a 2-game sample, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm keeping
hey,
Yaremchuk in the lineup
not a
because
lot,
you
but-
paid him and you gave him terms, so you probably have to let him play through
my
his slump.
God, I will not stand for this Yaremchuk hate.
It's
I will
not
not.
hate. He hasn't been as good as he needs to be.
Makes 1.4 million, which is more than Connor Brown.
And yeah, I
made a
wouldn't.
poll.
is
I made
it?
a poll.
On the
I-
books?
Not technically on the Bucks, but on the salary cap.
I wouldn't waive Matthias Janmark. I would not do that.
What are we talking about?
But I would have waived Derek Ryan. I just think, listen, it might be a hard decision, and it might not be
the decision you don't need to make yet. Like, you got to still give him a chance. Like, maybe he has hit his wall. Maybe he has, and I'm fine to accept that. Sorry, Waz, but I don't think we know enough yet. So Philip is someone you can move up and down without losing. So let's see if DR10 can figure it out, or find his stride and get back his game on the rails. And if he can't, well then yeah, you have that decision to make. And wow, just call Noah up. We've got some depth, and that's okay.
I do like having 13 forwards though, and I know it's the idea of accruing cap and all
Dude,
that.
cap
But
space, man.
I get it, but having competition in your lineup is also important.
But the fact you just call someone up, it's
Yeah, I guess that's good. Like having him play is obviously important too, but the battles in practice every day are also part of it.
cap space is the trade deadline.
Yeah, and
That's
right
maximum.
now,
Like, we're thinking the long run here.
with Philp down, they're back to having just over $1 million in cap space, 1.2 or something, which again, accrual, that is important. It is a factor in all of this. So that's going to help. That's good. I do think this is a bit of an aside now, but I was talking yesterday and Amber was like, how come the Oilers are the only team whose farm team is in the States? And I was like, well, yeah, like Vancouver has Abbotsford right there. Calgary has Calgary. Toronto has Toronto. Winnipeg has Winnipeg. Like, they're all right there. Montreal has Laval. Ottawa has Belleville. That is an advantage. And
Oh, it is.
it-
100%.
I think it's an advantage. I agree.
Now,
like
Wranglers' attendance is disgusting.
yeah, but those, you're not
it
doing
doesn't
it.
matter at that point. It's
You're
about,
not-
it's about the betterment of the organization.
Yeah,
100%.
And I agree with that side of it. But then a lot of the teams in Bakersfield's division, you have San Diego, like Henderson. There's another one too that's kind of down south.
But
So,
maybe
yeah,
they
but
reorg. You could probably have a
Yeah.
Canadian division.
the travel would suck.
Yeah, I mean, it would, but Calgary and Vancouver are right there. So
Yeah.
it's not that far of a flight. LA is what, a 3.5 hour flight?
Coachella Valley was the other one. I was
Yeah,
thinking of.
Coachella Valley. I don't know. I just think
They don't fly.
They
I
fly.
think they fly in some instances. Like, it's a mixture, I think.
Is it? Okay.
anyways, okay. Got off on a bit of a tangent there. We are still in the lineup report.
The Janmark hate tangent.
Do we have D pairings for tonight, Aaron? Do we have that from Greg's? Again, Bouchard at home. They obviously stayed together. Nurse and Stetcher, Kulak, Emerson. So no changes to the blue line. I like that. I still think this is their best rollout of 6. Maybe just a little surprise. No, because Pickard wasn't that good last game. Okay, no, it makes sense. Skinner gets the start.
He was
Probably the right
good
call.
until he wasn't.
He was, I looked at it more like he was good. And then at the end of the game, I went back and watched some of the goals and I was like,
I
some
know,
of those
until
are
he
kinda
wasn't.
gross.
And then he wasn't.
Yeah, and then he wasn't. But Stuart Skinner, to his credit, was good against Calgary. So I think Stuart Skinner deserves the net here. I don't have a problem with it. Again, big divisional game here. You want to make sure you get these 2 points and you get them in regulation. So
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I think when we discussed it last week, my decision was on who should start. Wasn't about the New Jersey game and the Calgary game. It was like who plays better out of those two, because it was obvious who was going to get it, and then Skinner gets the start.
Yep. Opposite for Vegas. Aiden Hill is unconfirmed right now, but I would expect him to be between the pipes for the Vegas Golden Knights. Their forward lines, Jack Eichel's having a good start to the year. So is Mark Stone. So is Ivan Barbashev. All of them are playing really, really well so far. 16 points on the year for Eichel, 20 for Stone, and Barbashev has 7 goals already. So that top line's looking good for Vegas, and it's looking healthy, which is big.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be the biggest threat tonight. I wonder if that's why they put together that third line to maybe try and go up against that one.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Hurdle, he's playing good. Dorofeyev and Brett Howden. You kind of go like, really? Dorofeyev and Brett Howden in the top 6. They've combined for 13 goals already this season. So they're getting some unexpected contributions. Tanner Pearson, a little reclamation project. signed there after a PTO. He's on the third line with William Karlsson and Alexander Holtz, Nicholas Roy with Keegan Colasar and Cole Schwint, who you remember they picked up on waivers from the Calgary Wranglers.
Very
and that's
familiar.
the only fact we have about Cole Schwint.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Noah Hannafin with Alex Pietrangelo on the blue line. Braden McNabb and Shea Theodore is the second pairing, and Nicholas Haig and Zach Whitecloud are the third pairing. So good blue line here in Vegas. Like, again, they're a really nice blend of puck movers and tough sons of bitches. Like, it's a tough team, tough test tonight.
Yep.
Did I tell you I saw Alex Pietrangelo at Disneyland this summer?
Wow.
Yeah.
Random.
In the Star Wars line.
Big Star Wars guy. Jeez.
Yeah. Lightsaber.
Yeah, lightsaber to the wrist. Yeah.
So Aiden Hill this season has not had a very good year. I'll give you in order of his games started because he's played.
Canada's starting
I was
goalie.
going to say, I thought he was on the roster.
These are his goals against by game, going back to his first start of the year. 4-3, 4-4, 4-0, only faced 16 shots and 3.
What's the record of the Vegas Golden Knights?
They are 8-0 at home. They are 0-3-1 on the road
They
for a
played-
total of 8-3-1. Aiden Hill's 5-2, but his save percentage is worse than Stuart Skinner's, and his goals against average is barely better than Stu's.
Bet the over.
I think this is an overnight, yes. And in his road starts this season, he has 2 of them. He allowed 4 goals on 22 shots to Washington, 4 goals on 25 shots to the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's an 840 and an 818 save percentage in those games, and they were both losses, obviously, because Vegas hasn't won on the road yet this season. So those are your starting goalies. Those are your lineups brought to you by our friends over at Square. I do think expecting a high-scoring night is fair, and I know Christopher Palmer's in the chat, and he says Tyler says New Jersey was an overnight. To be fair, the Oilers missed 3 open nets. It should have been an overnight.
That would have helped. I'm going to struggle to bet the over until the Oilers power play proves it can play in this league again.
It is tonight.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That might be my game day bet.
It's that's what the script says.
Fair? Fair.
Power play shows up.
Speaking of
Makes
being
sense.
due, I know yesterday I was rattling off a whole bunch of 5-on-5 stats and things like that. I actually ended up turning them all into an article. It's up now at OilersNation.com. But do we have that board I wanted, AB, of the side-to-sides? Did Pat send it over yet?
Give me a moment.
All right. I was just, again, talking about the fact that this Oilers team, they're due. And I mean, Jay, you watch every game just like us. They're getting a lot of chances. And the big debate we had with the chat yesterday, it actually ended up carrying like 25 minutes of the show, I feel like. But it was, are the Oilers due? Can they just keep playing this way and the offense will wake up? Or are they poor finishers? Are they snake bit? Are they at a crisis of confidence? Where do you come out on that?
It's such a it doesn't feel like it's real life, and that's why I need to like process it.
It's weird
It's
to
not
talk about.
confidence.
And it shouldn't be. And it's not finishing ability either, is kind of my point. So
Is it other teams defending better? No, I don't know. It just we're not getting. Just wait, patience.
Mainlander Tim, the Oilers are so due. Dr. Greg is looking to induce them. Huh? That's a pregnancy joke from Mainlander Tim. It's a good one. That's a good one. Anyways, I went and looked into the numbers and actually lined them up because I feel like when I just babble and ramble and just say like second in the league in this, it's like hard to follow it.
Yeah.
So flash it up, AB. This is the Oilers last year at the end of the season and what they are now. 5-on-5 shot attempts. They have more shot attempts than they did at the end of last season. 5-on-5 shots for, numbers higher. Scoring chances, numbers higher. Expected goals, the number is a little bit lower there, but they were first in expected goals at 5-on-5 last season. Actual goals, look at that gap last year between their expected goals in the left column and their actual goals. It was 0.3. Look at that gap on the right. It's 1.11. That is significant. Right now, they are technically producing enough chances and enough quality of chances to be or to deserve 3.04 goals every 60 minutes. They're only scoring 1.93. And why? It's that shot percentage. 5.74. It's 30th in the NHL.
Yeah.
Last year, they were league average at 8.81, 14th in the league. Like, if you can look at these numbers and say, hold up, they're attempting more shots, they're getting more shots, they're getting more scoring chances. So the volume's there, the quality's there,
Yeah,
but the results aren't.
The math's gonna math back. So like, what is it? One thing, I guess. let the math sort itself out. You also have new blood on the roster figuring it out. But like when you hear those numbers, it's like it sounds like they have it figured out. But still, the cohesiveness of some of these new lines or new people on some of these lines maybe still needs a little bit of time to take, because maybe you're not used to Victor Arvidsson getting a pass like you did from Leon Draisaitl in that situation, and you're just getting a weak shot off because you weren't ready for it. Like maybe there's like a bunch of little things like that are kind of adding up to this. But at some point, we are going to be a juggernaut.
I agree. Sadistic
Patience.
Angel says weak shots, predictable plays. I don't see that at all. Like, again, you look at last game, like they were generating. They had open backdoor looks. Zach Hyman missed the net on a breakaway. Like, is it a little bit of it? Like, yeah, they got to bear down. Sure, but still, like, they'll get going.
Figure it out. They'll figure it out.
Rich says if our special teams pick up 10% each, we're in first place. And I actually agree with that. Like, again, so much of this is just if the power play was going, it'd be going. And K Waddy says the crest is not a bullseye, for fuck's sakes.
Accurate, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, are a handful of their shot attempts going right at the goalie? Yes, like they have to be a little bit sharper. I'm not saying they aren't, but also just they are NHLers. It's not like they forgot how to pick corners. It's not like they forgot how to beat goalies or make plays. Like sometimes it's a tough sport. It moves very fast. If you're a little off, the shot's hitting a guy in the crest. Okay. They will eventually start picking the corners. They will eventually start putting home these backdoor tap-ins into wide open nets. Like my point is it's going to come. Derek Ryan says Bouchard needs a slap in the face. Wake him up. Get some urgency. Get the pucks.
Derek Ryan, you might be in the slap in the face here.
Yeah. But yeah, and that too. Got to get some pucks through as well. That's definitely a part of it. So, yeah.
Well, what's that stat you looked up yesterday for his block shots in a game?
Yeah,
He's
I mean,
averaging one a period.
He's basically averaging one block shot a period. Like he's got to get pucks through at a much higher clip than he is right now. So a bunch of things that they no doubt need to work on. But I just, again, I want to preach patience with it. Like it's going to come at some point for this Oilers team. Let's get to, after those notes, let's get into some other game notes. Our game note segment is brought to you by Prime Monday Night Hockey. The exclusive home for the NHL on Monday nights in Canada is on Prime. You all saw Edmonton in action on Monday, and Prime Monday Night Hockey was a very crisp looking broadcast. And Edmonton's going to be back in action on November 18th when they take on the Habs in Montreal. Fans can watch Monday Night Hockey on their Prime through their current subscription with no added cost. And if you don't have one, link in our bio, you can get a free 30 days right now. Prime Monday Night Hockey. It's on Monday.
It's on Prime.
It is on Prime. Liam, game notes. What do you got for me?
He's got his notebook out.
Yeah, I have 2 pages of game notes. Huge handwriting. Oilers went 2-1 against Vegas last year. Do you remember the game they lost?
They went 2-1 against Vegas.
2-1 against Vegas.
They lost.
The game they lost.
Is it something monumental?
It ended
happened?
a streak of
It
scores.
ended the 16-game win streak.
Oh, Vegas ended it.
That's right.
We were at Greta Bar Yeg.
Yeah, we were all there. That's right.
Oh, yeah, we did. I could
Yeah.
do this for the record or whatever to tie the record.
The Oilers lost 3-1. Empty net goal. I think it was William Karlsson who got the empty net goal. But they did win the other 2, 5-4 in Edmonton and then 5-1 in Vegas. So that was pretty promising. As Tyler mentioned, the Vegas Golden Knights, Jay, not won a game on the road this season.
They've not won a game in a row this season.
They've only played 4, which is the lowest in the NHL. But here's a stat for you and a fact that should make you want to look at some power play points tonight.
Okay.
The Vegas Golden Knights. Where'd I put it? There it is. 62% penalty kill on the road this season.
That sucks.
Do you know who's worse?
The Oilers?
Not the Edmonton Oilers. They're 30th in the league. 64% with a road.
Yeah,
penalty
take
kill.
that, Vegas.
So suck it, Vegas.
So the lesson here is if you think the Oilers penalty kill is bad,
Wait till you see Vegas tonight.
yeah, giddy up.
So
giddy
we're
up.
each other's slump buster for the PP.
Exciting
But their
stuff.
PP is probably good.
I didn't get their overall number. I just care about the road number.
Fair.
They are also 30th in the league in goals for on the road this season.
Ooh,
They've been a home team. Again, perfect 8-0 at home, 0-3-1 on the road.
Teams get the Vegas flu coming in.
Aiden Hill in his career regular season, right, Aaron?
Yeah. There's differentials in there too.
Oh. 891 save percentage. Only beat the Oilers once in the regular season.
Damn.
So he's only played him 4 times, but still, it's pretty good. Nugent Hopkins has been the Vegas Golden Knights killer, we'll call him, since 2022. 7 points, which is the most against Vegas on the Oilers.
Wow.
That doesn't include a shootout winner, which he got last season when the Oilers beat Vegas 5-4. You may remember Vegas came back in the third period to tie that game late. I think it was Keegan Colasar. Keegan Colasar, Ben Hunt scored. No, I'm not sure. Then Nuge scored the overtime winner, shootout winner. That first line, Stone, Eichel, and Barbashev is combined for 9 points on the road this season. Dorofeyev,
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Yep.
Pavel, 3 goals. Brett Howden, you mentioned his name before.
I did.
Former shower.
No points on the road this season. There you go.
Ice cold.
Freezing.
And he has an OT winner under his belt this year, though. So
There you
there's
go.
that.
Well, not on the road.
This might be becoming one of my favorite segments, by the way.
Well, I got more for you.
Oh, wow. 2 pages.
Stuart Skinner getting the start tonight, obviously.
Yep.
First game against Vegas was going pretty well until the third period. If I remember that game, Vegas kind of just took over in the third, and the Oilers did pretty well. 8:52 in game 1 against Vegas last year. However, bounced back 9:20 in that 3-1 loss and a 9:44 in the 5-1 win. So there you go, folks. There's your game notes.
Thank you. Put that notebook away for another few
The
days.
podcast listeners don't get to see him with the pen and everything. It's beautiful.
So my only, and maybe this is part of the shtick, is
Okay.
maybe think about the flow of how you want to go through those stats.
But I like
Because there's a lot of page flipping,
Well, when you got 2 pages of them, you gotta
but
go
the back and forth, I'm just, unless like that's the style and you want to be able to flip the page back and forth.
I live my life pretty unscripted.
That would suggest you're scripted.
No, because you like you said, I'm going back and forth. I just like to see where
He
my mind
freestyles them.
goes, see what happens.
It's better to make stuff up and go off the dome.
Maybe next time we'll do that. We'll see what happens. We'll see
Uh-huh.
what the people like.
Yeah.
Kajula or Yaremchuk? Which one do you want?
Oh, I made a poll as well.
No, we don't need to see the results.
What's the poll?
They actually said 64% of the people said Kajula.
No, they said Yanmark.
Well,
Is Drake better than Yanmark? No, 64%.
see what happens.
Fair.
Don't fault the people.
K. Waddy says do it on a whiteboard, which I think would be
That would
funny.
actually be fun. You move him over and he's
Get me on the green screen.
not to
Can we
not,
pre-record
not,
it?
not to get political, but last night was the election.
Really.
You know, I don't know what television station it is, but there's that one guy that like has the maps and he stands up
NBC.
front
Yeah.
and he like, expands and he knows all the counties and he's this and that.
They
Can you
will
bring
use
that to that energy to
I
the show?
could give it a go.
Sunday Night Football. They'll bring that guy on at the end of the season to do all the playoff
Oh,
percentages.
that's right.
Because he's NBC.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's like, yeah, we need that type of segment.
So, as you know, Jay, I recently moved into a house.
Oh,
Bought
yes,
a
congrats.
house. And my basement is basically going to be mine. Like, I'm going to be able to do what I want.
You're now the lord of your land.
And I thought about doing like a full green screen wall and just standing for home shows.
Standing.
I would love to.
Like the
I feel like I
weatherman.
can do a bit more then. Yeah. I think that would be awesome.
I mean, sure, I'm in.
All right. That's the idea. I'll let Andrea know tonight.
There was a comment in the chat that really made me mad, so I'm finding stats.
Oh, what was the stat?
Where was it? Joe Opinionated. Has anyone ever said we'll win tonight because of Stu Skinner? Nope, not once. Did you know last year from December 20th until February 5th, he went 12-0 with a 950 save percentage and a 1.41 goals against average, Joe? So there were 12 instances where we said we're going to win because of Stuart Skinner. He like people forget that, or I don't know if they forget it or overlook it, however you want to phrase it. He was the main driver behind that 16-game winning streak last year.
He was really good.
Like they were not winning a lot of those games 6-5, 5-4, 4-3. They were winning a lot of those games 3-1, 4-2. Like
Yeah,
it
the
was,
over was not successful.
it was not. So again, a little frustrating that people still just randomly like to latch onto Stuart Skinner stuff. Like, I don't know, dumb. All right. Speaking of game notes, you know who else is a big fan of game notes? Our friends over at Sherwood Ford the Giant, Liam. They love them so much that they even put together their own. It is a Sherwood Ford Giant game day as Edmonton's in action against Vegas. And here are 3 fast facts from our friends at Sherwood Ford the Giant.
Including the playoffs, this is the 29th meeting of the Golden Knights and the Edmonton Oilers since they came into the league.
Giant Mike here. The Oilers are 15-11-2 all-time against Vegas.
Both Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Leon Draisaitl are over a point in their careers against Vegas.
Over a point per game. Shout out to Ernesto, Lucas, and Mike from Sherwood Ford the Giant. Looks like they have a great time.
I love it. It's just new people every week.
Giant Mike
Double
too.
up.
He said.
Giant
Why
Mike.
not?
Giant Mike. All right, there you go. Shout out to our friends at Short for the Giant. Hockey fans helping hockey fans. And you already know because we've been talking about it for weeks. Nation Valet. It's coming. It's going to be exclusive
close.
perks just for you, Nation citizens. Right now, though, you can call Short for the Giant. Say, I need a pickup. My vehicle needs an oil change. I need a pickup. My vehicle needs its winter tires on. And even if you don't drive a Ford or you aren't a Short for the Giant customer, you can take advantage of the valet service. Also, you can go and they'll store your winter tires. Enough keeping them in your kitchen or your living room. Let Short for the Giant hold on to them. Then when winter's done, they slap them back on. It's a seamless process. Shout out to Sherwood Ford the Giant. We were chatting with Frank yesterday. This is unrelated to the game tonight. We were chatting with Frank yesterday about waiting for potentially some teams to be quote unquote stellars.
Yes, we will.
And then yesterday, did you see who the Sabres healthy scratched?
Oh yeah, Yokoharu.
Yeah, they healthy scratched both Samuelson and Yokiharu.
For trade-related reasons?
Not for trade-related reasons, but things are going bad in Buffalo right now. And
I know this should be better.
I really like Henry Yokoharu. I think he's a good defenseman. I think he would be their second best right shot defenseman, which I know is maybe not saying a whole heck of a lot.
What's his salary number?
$3.1 million pending UFA.
Oh, so they can retain.
They could retain a little bit. Frank made it sound like Buffalo would only be interested if there was some form of an actual hockey trade to be made. So maybe it's not all that likely. But is that a guy we talked about? You're going to get one swing if you're Stan Bowman, right? You're going to be able to acquire one defenseman. You don't have the cap space, don't have the assets to really do that much else. But if you could get him to hold on to half of that deal, $1.55 million for Henry Yokoharu.
What's going out the door?
And maybe
That would be all our salary. Like
It
our
would
cap
be.
space.
I mean, you'd probably get him for a second or a third round pick, you'd imagine.
But what else? Like, are we dumping salary as part of this?
If they retain half, you can make it work.
I know, but then that's our only move, unless we're moving money out.
Yeah. So like right now with the 12 forwards, 71 goalie, they have 1.2 million in cap space. So if you were to take 775,000, Travis Dermott, send him down, you bring in Yokoharu, you're still accruing about $400,000 in cap space. So come the deadline, if you wanted to add a bottom six winger or centerman of some kind, you still could do that and make it work. So I don't know. Is there enough upside there with Yokoharu for you to make that your one move on the blue line, or do you think it's smarter to just wait?
How old is he?
Yokoharu started his career in Chicago. He is 25 years old.
Give me what's his dimensions?
You want like height and weight?
I mean, yes.
He is
6 feet, 200 pounds, 25 years old.
not the biggest guy in the world.
What's his penalty minutes?
Can I throw another name out?
Last year he had 24 of them.
Wasn't Jake Wallman a healthy scratch the other day in San Jose? Like, I know, like, I just feel like this
Left shot though.
but he plays on the right, does he not?
Can.
Just flip him.
I think he is just been flipped. I think that's just what he does. So I just, you know, you want to talk about Buffalo and it's like, hey, well, they want someone who can help them now. That said it yesterday. The Oilers already did that.
Yeah.
They gave them Ryan McLeod. San Jose is not going to want to do that at all. They want guys who are like, can't play for 10 years. They're not even old enough to play hockey yet. Maybe that's the move.
Here's the problem with the Wallman idea. One, San
Oh,
Jose,
retain.
they can't retain. They have no more retained salary spots. So you'd have to send a contract back the other way. And
You
I
get
don't,
a third party involved. Minnesota did it.
but now you're using more assets. So if the idea,
Yeah.
I know, but do you like
Well,
Jake-
you want to do? You want to stretch that much for Wallman?
when you could just go give
I
up
would.
probably less assets because you don't need the third party broker and go get Yokoharu?
Well, it depends what the market is, I suppose. Like, what was Ollie Matter the other day? He
Got a
was like
third.
third. So you probably got to give up a third and a fourth, fifth, something like that as well, just in the
Money.
two teams.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a terrible idea. He was a good player in Detroit. San Jose, it's hard to be a good player. Cody Cece, 800 games yesterday.
Congrats to Cody Cece. One other thing, just on an around the league kind of basis, but did you see Barry Trotz's comments?
That was so dumb. What are they doing?
They commit $100 million to free agent. Barry Trotz does a radio interview today and says that if things don't turn around quick, he's going to have to start looking into a rebuild.
Okay. How can any GM in the league that is actually a good team, like Nashville, they have a lot of good players.
Man, on paper, they should be way better.
Totally. And they have 9 points, I think, third in their division is like 13 in the playoffs.
Yep.
Like, just wait it out. How can you not see what?
Well,
the
maybe
Oilers did
he's
last
just
season?
doing something to light a fire under their butt,
I think that's all it is. Honestly, I'm not buying
as
that.
opposed to signaling anyone out. Like, they got a lot of money, and I don't know how many goals March has scored, but I don't think Stamkos has scored too many yet.
Yeah.
Like, big moves.
So there is one name that popped out to me in Nashville. They have 2 pending UFAs, Gustav Nyquist and Dante Fabro. And we talked about Dante Fabro being an Oilers connection and someone that the fancy numbers really seem to like. And he's spent time with Roman Josi. He's played, relatively tough minutes. He is 6 feet, 190 pounds, doesn't really do a ton for you in the size department. But remember, and Daryl has a comment here that I'll give some love to, but he says, you need to wait a bit longer, patience. We need to get a defenseman close to Ekholm's performance or Ekholm's caliber, you could say. There was a guy,
obviously, but that's tough to do.
That year when they got Ekholm, at this point, Nashville was kind of in a similar spot. It was like, oh boy, things aren't going well for them. They didn't quite load up the same, but they had just signed Ekholm to that extension and all of that stuff. What about Alexander Carrier? They just signed him to a 3-year, $3.75 million deal. He's a right shot defenseman. He's only 5'11", but he moves the puck well. We know Darnell Nurse traditionally works better with puck-moving defensemen. Again, Nashville just signed him, but they've shown in the past, if they decide to go the seller route, they'll move you. He has no trade protection, so he could be had. That'd be a name I'd be interested in.
Yeah. Looking at I would honestly be totally out on Dante Fabro. I think he makes too much money. He's in and out of the lineup often. He didn't even play when we played against him the other day.
2.5 million. I do think
he has no points in 6 games. Is he any better than what?
Well, what are you? Have? But like, what is he supposed to be? Is he supposed to be
like an offensive guy, a puck moving defenseman? I guess we'll call him. Mm-hmm. I'd be more intrigued by Carey, like you said, like 28 years old, 3-year deal. Not a bad player. Although he did get stripped pretty bad the other day by Podkolzin.
Yeah, but you can't blame a guy. But Colson's working like a dog.
No, credit to Pods.
Yeah, Alexander Carrier, he plays a ton. He's played 198 minutes already for the Predators. That's second most on the team at 5-on-5. His fancy stats aren't great, but no one on Nashville's putting up good numbers at 5v5. And you're right, Dante Fabro's only played 6 games this year, 73 minutes. So I still think, like, I like Yokoharu. I like a guy like Carrier if he were to ever be available. I do think I agree with Daryl, though, in the YouTube chat. I think you're still waiting, though.
Oh, yeah. I think they'd rather bring up, what's that guy they got yesterday? Ronnie Attard?
Ronnie Attard.
Sorry. I think they'd rather bring him up and see what he's got before they went out and made another move.
6'3", so he comes with some size. Bit of a mean dude. Put up some decent points in the American League.
I don't know. It's not a great solution, but who knows? Maybe you strike gold.
Yeah, Mainlander Tim makes a good point, too. What does Edmonton even offer Nashville? Would they not be more retooling than rebuilding, want prospects over picks? And that is the big problem, too, is Edmonton doesn't have a lot of picks. They got a few, and they have really no prospects that you can justify giving up at this point. So
I don't know. I don't even think prospects are... How often do good ones even get traded?
Yeah, and that's a fair point as well. Shout out to everyone over in our YouTube chat, which, as you know, is brought to you by Odd Company and the all-new Nation Beer. Nation Beer Everyday Lager, perfect for the next big game or just your new go-to lager. Find it at either one of the 2 Odd Company locations in Edmonton or online at Liquor Connect. Just go to Liquor Connect and punch in Nation Beer and then see where they got it. Also, select bars starting to bring it in kegs, we're hearing.
Awesome.
That is exciting. Go out, watch the game, go out for dinner, and I'll have Nation Beer on draft. Pint of Nation Beer. That rolls off the tongue nicely.
That sounds... I'm thirsty.
Crisp, clean, refreshing, in a beautiful can. Shout out to Odd Company for partnering up with us on the all-new Nation Beer. Continuing along, let's get in. You guys want to talk some betting? Should we talk some bets?
I mean, why not?
Why not?
I've got no shame. My record is very embarrassing, but I don't care.
Game Day Betting Challenge brought to you by Bet365, largest sports betting platform globally. Download the app. Use the promo code NATION. That's NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Boys, Game Day Betting Challenge. We're still looking for wins. I'm still looking for wins. Jay's still looking for wins. Liam's got 1.
I'm chasing the dragon.
You have 3?
3.
Yeah,
3 dubs?
the boring wins.
Show me the stats.
I didn't update the board.
So this is
I
what
have
this is
three.
what it was.
Yeah. So I have 3.
I lost last game, so I'm down 6 units.
Jay
Jay's
lost.
I got at least I got a push in there, so I got a little
Yeah.
something in the positive.
So I would be,
Something's gonna hit, and I'll be looking okay.
Gord wants to know, did you win your soccer bet from yesterday?
Oh.
Speaking of not being ordinary.
no.
Okay.
But I'll be right back on the train today.
I also didn't hit my shot prop play. So
Sparta Prague to beat Brest is a big one.
Sparta Prague
To beat
Okay.
Today?
Brest. Plus 140 and Inter to win or draw at home against Arsenal. I can't
Okay.
remember what that line is.
All right. I like that.
You know?
I like that. Liam with some never ordinary footy picks for us to chew on. As far as the game day betting challenge, what do I got for today? A little same gamer plus 275. The over for team totals on goals for the Oilers, over 3.5. I like them to get the offense going. I think that'll fuel them to a win. You got that little EP button there too, the early payout on Bet365. Maybe Edmonton can get off to a hot start. And Jeff Skinner, 3+ shots on goal. No forward has shot the puck more than Skinner so far this season. And he did hit this shot prop last game, and he's hit it in 3 of 5, and he's playing on Connor McDavid's wing. How can you not like that? Jeff Skinner's shot prop is a great spot. Juices this bad boy up to plus 275. Lehman, what do you like?
Draisaitl power play point.
God, I love this bet.
Plus 215.
Oh, I'm tailing you.
Yeah, that's
I'm in.
that you know what? That's actually juicy enough.
Thank
Finally,
you.
that is delicious.
I find the good ones. What can I say? Find the winners, I guess you could call it.
Power play is gonna hum.
Giddy up. Plus 215. That's a good price tag on that because, as you said, Vegas is penalty kills. Stinky on the road. Jay, what do you like?
Well, I like Connor's back. I don't know if you know this.
Yes, sir.
So Connor to score. Jeff Skinner elevated. He's probably going to score, but I just went Skinner point just as a hedge. And then Oilers money line. Plus 425, I believe. That'll get me out of my jam.
Can you not read that?
Actually, you would
Not my
still,
contract then.
be 3 units under.
But I'm not 7.
It's true.
Better, yeah, or potentially
Gradually
8.
eight.
But I'm not 7.
Yikes. All right, I like that one too, Jay. I mean, Jeff Skinner plus 110, I think, to score a point tonight.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
Or
good.
the bankroll.
Yeah, you're already getting your prep going for Boardsy's bankroll tonight. That's the game day betting challenge brought to you by Bet365. Just a reminder, Aaron goes live 5:30 tonight right here on the Oilers Nation YouTube.
And another betting one. Darnell Nurse is hitting his shot prop 4 straight games in a row. He's just ripping it right now.
Wow.
And it went up in odds for 2.5 shots. Don't really know why, but we profit. I think he has 18 shots in his last 4 games.
3, 4, 5, and 6 in his last 4 games. And it's plus money tonight?
Plus 135.
Wow.
Oh my
Sounds
God.
like there's an interesting prop parlay to build here.
There's
Your
some
bet, that bet, and what was the other one?
Skinner 3+ shots.
Yes.
We put all of our brains together.
And then add a Pud Coles in goal.
First goal, maybe? Oh, my phone is blowing up right now.
Come
Got
on.
breaking news. Connor texting you,
No.
letting you know he's playing tonight.
I have a quote
Sure.
from our old friend Dylan Holloway. Obviously, a pretty scary incident.
Yeah,
in St. Louis, but he's up and at him already.
Yeah, so if you missed it today, he's back at the rink. So again,
Yeah.
it was a little, I don't know if you want to call it precautionary, because this was obviously very, very scary, but team doctors doing the right thing here. Just, okay, there's something in the neck, throat, airway area. We are just going to lay you right down. And Holloway did say today, I mean, you have the quote.
He said, as soon as I got hit, I knew something was a little off. But then I saw there was a 2-on-1 and I couldn't pass up that opportunity.
I know he looked totally fine, right? Like, but those
Yeah,
things might take some time to, feel the effects of. So glad he's doing okay.
Yeah, and there was a report too, which is kind of a good thing in a way. Like I guess he was like his parents were in town for the
They
game
were.
too, so they were able to be around him as well, which is good. Thank
Yeah.
goodness he was okay.
Frank gave some love to the St. Louis Blues head trainer, who has been through this kind of stuff a handful of times before. He was on the bench because he's been the Blues head trainer for 30 years. So he was on the bench when Chris Pronger's heart stopped. He was on the bench when Jay Bomeister had his heart attack.
Yeah.
So he was quick to jump into action there last night, and happy to hear Dylan Holloway back at the rink and good. Also, speaking of anniversaries, yesterday we celebrated Connor McDavid's 3-year anniversary of the goal against the New York Rangers when he diced his way through. Jay, what was your favorite Connor McDavid goal?
I wonder if he'll pick one
Of all
else.
time?
All
Yeah.
time. We did this yesterday because, again, anniversary of that goal against the Rangers. Like,
The Ducks against the Ducks in 2016 playoffs or 17 playoffs.
The one where he hammered on the brakes.
Hammered on the brakes. Yeah.
I was there for that.
Yeah.
That is a good one. That's an underrated
That
one.
was like a must win. That was,
They
yeah.
were down like 3-0 in the first, and then that tied it up 3-3.
Yeah.
So it was even.
Yeah.
big
It
moment.
was such an
Yeah.
important game. And yeah, it was just so beautiful.
On this day 11 years ago, the fan in Winnipeg took Adam Party's helmet.
What's 11 years?
It's crazy that was 11 years ago because I
That was
remember.
in Chicago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in
Yeah.
Chicago, but it was a fan who took
Yeah.
the helmet. It's crazy
That guy
that's
was in
11
one.
years ago because I remember being on Twitter for it and seeing the memes, which is wild.
I see the memes all the time still. I cannot believe that was 11 years ago. It blew my mind.
Yeah, I
What
saw
else we got?
that.
Anything else from this day 11 years ago? Let's do it. Let me
Nope.
Google it. On this
All
day.
right, okay. You Google that, and maybe we'll do that after our keys to victory, which are brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine, home of the $50 biweekly ATV. Hello, you can be on a boat next summer for as low as $105 biweekly, which I know has Jay daydreaming about being out on the water next summer. Our friends at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine can hook you up: motorcycles, quads, e-bikes, and boats. Check them out right in the heart of Sherwood Park. I'm going to stay with my theme for today, and that is get the offense rolling, boys. Connor McDavid's back. You got this new look third line. Jeff Skinner's on the top line. The second line has been playing really, really well. Mulick says special teams battle. Sure. Victimize that poor Vegas road PK. Connor McDavid, get back, get the juices flowing, get this crowd buzzing, score, pardon my language, shitload of goals tonight. That's what I want to see. That's my key to victory. Jay, what's yours?
Connor's back. Let's just get this PP back.
Yeah.
Let's get the power play back. I know I'm like echoing the same stuff, but like I'm just so singularly focused on that. Get that going. Dude's going to be fine.
Key?
Yeah, mine's just the special teams. You got to take advantage of this penalty kill from Vegas that isn't very good on the road. Score some goals.
Yeah.
That's kind of it's pretty simple.
Like let's hang 7 on Vegas tonight.
That would be epic.
I would love that. Rogers Place would be absolutely rocking. Not a lot of great on this day in
I was
history
gonna
and
say,
sports.
Not in sports. A couple of
Um,
things, other world stuff, but stay away from it.
In 1976, former Twins reliever Bill Campbell is the first player in baseball history to sign with a new team. First free agent. That doesn't even make sense. Former Twins reliever Bill Campbell is the first free agent to sign with a new team in 1976. Was free agency not a thing before that in baseball?
I don't know.
I
Or
feel like
maybe
that's
it was
not-
just the first of that year.
Was he the
Oh.
first twin?
first free agent to sign with a new team. That doesn't make it.
Is he the
sense.
first Twins free agent?
Maybe.
Hmm.
This was a poor
wow.
idea.
Yeah. This day in history in 1991, there was an NHL game played
That's probably true.
off the dome. Who needs a book? Just spit
It's true.
fucking truth like that, dude.
Well, here's another one for you. On
okay.
this day, hit star of the movie Moneyball, David Justice, won the NL Rookie of the Year.
All right. Shout out to the movie Moneyball, I guess.
Isn't he betrayed like so terribly in that movie? Like
Yep.
what they say is just false.
There's so many guys who are like, that's not like the movie is actually pretty far from reality.
The movie was awesome though.
The movie's so good, but
That's all it's all about.
it talks about all of these like underdog stories that they had.
The pitching.
You do not hear once in the movie about Miguel Tejada. He won the MVP last year on his rookie deal. And you don't hear once in the movie about Mike Mussina, who won the Cy Young. They had the MVP and the Cy Young. And the movie's just like, God,
Yeah, there's zero mention of them.
either of them.
Yeah, but they were getting on base.
They're getting on base. And it's like,
Plattenberg or whatever was getting on
Yeah.
base.
it spends like 40 minutes on the drama around their backup first baseman. And it's like, also, they had the MVP. Pretty wild.
Moneyball.
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 All right. You going to the game tonight?
No.
No.
Me neither.
Yeah, me neither.
I'll be watching from home.
With a crisp nation.
It's a Chris Nation, exactly.
Why not? Why not? Mulick, and they had to pay for pop in the locker room. Yeah, there you go. Oh, James Naismith was born on this day in 1861.
Oh,
You know,
shout out
Monty,
B-ball.
Go.
There you go. Shut up, basketball. Maybe we will make it a segment. Nathan McKinnon had 5 assists last night as well. Giddy up.
We'll do that
That's
next
cute.
year.
A lot of Breeders' Cup going down on this day today.
Yeah, I saw that too.
All right.
It's a horse race, Tyler.
I know what the Breeders' Cup is.
Okay.
Okay, that's a wrap on today's edition of the show, a short for Giant Game Day edition of thing. Boardsy's back 5:30 right here on the YouTube. So subscribe. We've been stuck at 25K for too long.
Oh, come on, people.
I mean, if you're listening to the show or watching the show on YouTube and you're in the comments, you have to be subscribed. But maybe you're a podcast listener. Stay up to date on more of our content. Subscribe to the YouTube. Anything to add?
Agreed.
New episode of Better Late Than Never later today.
Oilers Nation Radio should be on that pretty quick.
Oilers Nation Radio is coming up from yesterday. That one's available wherever you get your podcast from too. Subscribe to Daily Faceoff too. Ryan Spakowski says if I show more leg, we'll get more subscribers.
I've got a little leg here.
Yeah, mine's these pants right up a little
Should
bit.
we tarps off one episode?
Unsubscribed.
If we won Game 7, I was gonna. Oh yeah, tarps wouldn't have been. Greta would have allowed it, but.
All right, everyone in the YouTube, you were great. Hit the like button before you go and make sure you're back for pregame with Boardsy later tonight. Edmonton, Vegas, big divisional matchup, and Connor McDavid is back in the lineup. Enjoy the hockey game tonight. We'll be back tomorrow, noon Eastern or noon Mountain Time. Blah, oil up.
Thank you for watching Oilers Nation Every Day. Hit the subscribe button to never miss a show. And for more, visit OilersNation.com.